Hello everyone, it's Eric, the CMO of InToX. I'm happy to be with you today to talk about those last days of the Kickstarter campaign and eventually what's coming up after. First and foremost, we are very happy to be here with the numbers we have on the Kickstarter page. So thank you to all of you. Let's be honest, we never expected to have such a success. We have an inside board for the bets here, and I lost mine. I don't know if you lost yours, Dieulangard. Yes, he lost his as well. So you just exploded our expectations. So bravo, thank you. And we also believe that you might be willing to talk with us at the end of the campaign, because there are tons of questions here and there about what's going to happen now. In particular about how can I choose my faction and this type of ideas. I know some of you want to talk about the last stretch goal, so don't worry, we are not going to evade the question. And before we start with the questions, I have a little information for you. Just a reminder, I know this is a place where everybody attending here is an expert, so I'm not teaching you anything, but I know you're helping us to communicate with the community, and that's very nice of you. That's about the fact that there is no pledge manager for the end of the campaign. We've had many different messages in private messages on the Kickstarter from people thinking there will be a pledge manager at the end, and I guess many of them will be disappointed when we go, after 7 p.m. tomorrow, when the campaign closes and they cannot order anymore. So as much as you can, spread the word, keep telling anyone you meet that no, there is no pledge manager. We are going to do one communication tomorrow, especially about that. I'm going to write something about it. And about the other information we would like to give to you for what's coming next. Starting 7 and 1 minute tomorrow evening, when the campaign is over, you shall, if not right at this time, but very soon after, receive an email which will allow you to choose what you want within your pledges. So you know already all of that. What you don't know is you will have until the 17th of March to answer to this email. So just in case, be careful, watch for your spams. Check that you have this email, reply to it. If you don't have it, if you don't find it, you can still write to us at kickstarter@altered.gg, because otherwise on the 17th of March, any order that will have been made and that the people will not have replied to the email we have sent afterward will be gifted to probably an association or an NGO or something, because those products are paid. We have to produce them. We cannot use them for anything else. And at some point we will need to do something with them, with those orders. So you have 2.5 to 3 weeks to reply to us, and we will anyway write to you several times, just to ensure you reply to the email. But we would be so frightened that some of you would just go through the system and not get what they bought and they paid for it, and that would be very, very sad, when we don't want that to happen. All right, this was the main information I wanted to share with you for now on, and eventually your questions will just help filling the gaps with some other questions. Dieulangard, do your thing. First question. So no, it's not an if, but a when are we going to reach the 5 million? Can you tell us the mood of the whole team, I guess? Tomorrow we were thinking, 5 million, yes, of course. We believe it's gonna be passed. To be honest, the team is very focused at the moment, because unfortunately, this Kickstarter is not all we have to do. So even if we are very happy, everybody is working very hard to provide you with the game on time and so on. And there are so many challenges along the way we are willing to succeed on. So, everybody is very tired, everybody is very focused. But tomorrow, we have planned an evening for the team here. We were wondering if eventually we would have a live cam in the office here so that you could share this moment with us. But we've been afraid that you might see some alcohol on the screen and so on, things that are usually unallowed by some laws, and we would have to make the stream Peggy 18. And well, it became a struggle legally speaking, so we didn't want to do that because yes, we are going to have a cup of champagne, of course, so we are going to have one and maybe more than one. But we have a very small surprise for you tomorrow, which is not related to the stretch goals and so on. It's just us showing you how we celebrate it here. So, small thing tomorrow. Any chance of a special rare promo for all Kickstarter backers? So, we are coming back to the question of the stretch goals and the end of the campaign. This is going to be somewhat a long story because I want to explain some stuff here. We've already said some of it somewhere, but planning a Kickstarter is a very long process. So when you think about what you want to give away to the people, you have to think ahead a lot. So, for example, when it comes to the boosters and their content, at the moment, the boosters we have, they are already validated. We cannot modify the boosters anymore because it's something we had to pass on to Cartamundi, the card producer, in advance. And anything we put within the booster has to be validated by the art team. We have to pay the designers. We have to create all of that. We have to decide on the ratio of cards and the drop rates and so on. And some informations are manageable until the last minute, but we have passed this time. At this point in time, we cannot anymore modify anything. It's just because we had to order the cards. We had to fulfill the material for the printing later because you want the cards in July. And if we want for you to have the cards in July, we need to plan ahead. So no, we couldn't do anything about the cards. And also about the way the campaign is designed. When we reached the 3.7 million, which was our last stretch goals, we already knew that we didn't have any more stretch goals. So I know some people were like, hey, wouldn't it be normal that it would be a 4 million euro stretch goal or something? Yes, we could have done that. But it would have meant you would have had a 600K stretch goals, from 3.4 to 4 million instead of 3.4 to 3.7. And suddenly coming from stretch goals, which were 150 to 200K, going up to 600K for one last stretch goals didn't seem very honest for you. So we didn't want to cheat by stretching the stretch goals too much and just make you patient. So we could have taken the last three stretch goals and made all of them 500K. Instead, we decided to keep the pace we had since the beginning. And we knew that at some point, 3.7 was very achievable for you, but we didn't want you to be unhappy with the way we were trying to trick you, because some of you would have said that we were tricking you into, artificially stretching the stretch goals. So this is not what we chose, because we wanted to remain as honest as possible in the way we were handling the campaign. Yes, unfortunately, we had no more stretch goals, but the reason is we never expected to go that high that quickly. So we had I don't remember exactly, maybe 27 stretch goals or 26, which was a lot already planned. But in the end, you just burned them all in less than 20 days. So, we checked other campaigns too, how they were doing things, and we noticed that many campaigns in the end had stretch goals that were not available till the end of the campaign because they ran out of stretch goals, especially when successful. So we just decided to stop there, and we are very sorry that the story doesn't match exactly the storytelling you would all have been wishing for, which is the very last stretch goal, which is ready for the very last days. Maybe that's a mistake on our side, but unfortunately this is not going to happen, and that's the story. I'm very sorry for this, but hopefully you're going to be nice with us and just be happy with the stretch goals we have already been able to give to you. Hopefully. Will we have some more card spoils soon? by spoil, do you mean like unpredicted reveals, or you just want reveals? Because in the end, I have Lucky on my left. If he wants to, by accident or not, reveal something, he can do it. But the plan is for us to keep some of the cards to be revealed in between now and the release of the game. So we have something to show you every here and there. There is this question of, should we keep some cards aside and not show them to you at all before the product is released? That's eventually something you can discuss on social and let us know what you would like. Because that's very doable. If you want, we can hide all of the cards that remains from the core set and not show them to you. But also we believe showing one card from here and then is cool enough, because I mean the time is going to be long in between now and July, August, even if Lucky has many ideas for you. Hi, is there any plans to launch Altered in Brazil? I think I already had this question a month ago. What I can tell you about Brazil is that Asmodee has businesses in Brazil. They have some people working for them in Brazil, and those people are interested in getting Altered in Brazil. We have met them at Gen Con last year. So yes, there are plans. I'm not a specialist about the Brazilian market, but I know there are some difficulties as well with the taxes system, which makes this more difficult than for some other countries to import the game in Brazil. One solution that might be used in the future is that Cartamundi, the card producer who does the game for us, has a factory in Brazil, and at some point in time, eventually, if the game works fine for Cartamundi and everything is fine, they could allow us to produce Altered from Brazil. So that would, this way, I suppose, avoid the taxing issue if we produce the card directly in Brazil. So why not? Sorry, I didn't see the question.
No, it says.
Okay. Can you explain the plans for the competitive scene for the game? So I cannot give you all of the details, but I can tell you the philosophy behind it. We already revealed that we wanted the competitive scene to start in 2025. So I'm going to summarize and give you more information today. How it's gonna work is in 2025, after the release of the first expansion, we want to organize the first ever official Altered tournament in a venue somewhere. We have no idea how many people we want to open the tournament to. What we know is we want to make it more like a convention. It's a place where you come to play competitively, yes, but you also come to socialize and to enjoy Altered in many different ways. Would it be from the lore aspects, the artistic aspects, or the collection aspects, etc. We want everybody to find something that appeals to them. A bit like Magic is doing its MagicCon and Flesh and Blood is doing its I don't know the name for the Flesh and Blood events, but I know they are running sometimes 3 days events. And we want to do that because we believe our community is more than just about being competitive, but we also know competitive players want a place to show they are who's the best, you know, who is the best player. So should be one event in February 25, probably in the US first. Then a month later should be in Europe for the equivalent. I guess supposedly in Paris for the first time. Then second expansion comes out around January, February, May. And we do the same again. So US and Europe. And then September is the anniversary date for the game, where we want to have the World Championship, or kind of, which we will unveil how you can qualify, but probably it will be through the first 4 events. And that should be all for the first year. But once we've done that, and assuming everything went well with the game and you're willing to play it competitively and there is demand for it, then we are thinking ahead for the year after. And the year after is where we want to be. We want to start being ambitious. We want to give away a lot of the competitiveness of the game to the stores themselves, you know, like qualifiers, like store championships and so on, with specific prizes for the stores. So we want to reinforce the organized play aspects of the game that you will have available to you within your local game stores. And we want a story to be built from your local game stores that will bring you to bigger events, to eventually regional championship, national championship, and so on. This kind of system is really nice. I mean, I'm myself a former Magic player from 10 years, 15 years, 20 years ago. So I experienced this kind of playing that we wanted to drive away from home every weekend to go to a qualifier or something. But also we believe some stuff were missing, like it was very expensive. We just came, we lost 2 rounds and we were eliminated. So we want to try to make Altered telling a different story to our competitive player as well, which is why we are trying to make anytime you're going to attend a place where you feel like you didn't come for nothing. That's our philosophy behind what we are doing, but more will be revealed later because we are not currently exactly working on this at the moment. We are working on the OP program for the beginning of the game, but we have ideas and we know where we want to go. Cheers. Will 2v2 have a competitive scene? Well, you know, from our experience, this is a kind of thing that is not decided by the publisher. This is the kind of thing that is required by the community. This is new. I mean, the mode is new. We have played it here. We hope you're going to enjoy it. And in the end, if enough of you, many of you, wants to play 2v2 competitively, why not? I mean, and anyway, when it comes to the store owners, if they want to organize 2v2 competitions, we will let them do. Because the OP system is not built around you have to do a standard tournament 1v1 this week. You have to do a draft tournament this week. No, we will just give OP prizes for them to use, and the store owners will just decide what kind of animations they want to offer to their communities, and that will vary from one store to the other depending on the community needs. So if you like 2v2 and you're enough of you and you ask your store owner to have a 2v2, he will organize it for you. And when it comes to broader tournaments, like bigger stages, like World Championship and so on, well, I mean, we are open to say why not? Why not? I mean, in the end, another thing we would like to add to this game is the team effect, which is not only 2v2, but which is also, you know, playing in teams of 3, where you're playing 3 1v1, and you need to win 2 out of 3 to go to move forward into the tournaments. We like the system of teams. We want you to play with your friends. We want you to have reasons to travel with friends and not only be on your own. No, this is not Altered. Altered is meant to give you social emotions, and this is how we are going to work on the topic. What are your plans from now to July? How do you keep the experience alive with us? Very, very, very good question. We have not yet officially communicated this, and this is going to make some of you happy and some of you less happy. We are going to bring back the retro. So the retro is currently being worked on. Should probably start around April or May. We are still in the work process of organizing the retro. So for some of you, the retro, you have experienced it, in particular in France, in UK, some in the US. The retro is, for those that do not know, the retro is an opportunity for you to go into a store and to play Altered. And you will have a demo player available for you. He will show you how to play, teach you, and he will offer you promo cards at the end. It's also an occasion for the store owner to get the demo kits that are given away to the store. So the store owner can offer his player base to play the game even more after the demo player left. And this is something we have done for an average 200 stores until now, until the end of February. But this first roadshow is over, and we have covered, like, from memory, maybe 15 to 20 in Netherlands stores, 15 in Germany, probably 80 in France because the game is very popular in France, 20 to 30 in UK, 60 to 80 in the US, and there are some countries we haven't yet covered. So among those countries, and we are willing to put the effort on the countries which had less opportunities to discover the game until now. So I'm not gonna make the official announcements and numbers, but I can tell you that there should be a roadshow in Spain, and it's currently in the process of being prepared. There should be eventually, but not sure, a roadshow in Italy. We are discussing the topic. There should be more roadshows in Canada, because Canada has been very poorly served from the beginning, and it's a failure on our side, and we are sorry for this. We weren't good enough in organizing the North American part of the thing until now. That's why we are coming back to the US as well, because the US is a big country, very important to us, and there will be more dates in the US, and we might have some more dates for Europe. We still need to decide and to discuss with the various countries that are willing to make it happen. We would like to have eventually more dates in Germany, for example. And just to say that for France, because I didn't name France, which already has had many events, we are not in the plan of adding the roadshow again to France, but eventually we might have a system where we could give away the demo kits for some stores, so they can provide the experience into the stores, but no demo players. But you can increase the drop rate of Golden Booster, isn't possible. Yeah, I mean, as a Golden Booster, increasing it, yes and no, because we would need to ask Cantamundi to modify the way the displays are built, and this is already jobs done. So we cannot just add one and change the statistics and so on. And even so, think about it. What we are doing with the Kickstarter is giving you way more than you would get into the retail product, because the Kickstarter is a one-time-in-a-life experience. The Golden Booster has been designed to provide you with a thrilling experience and eventually the luck of finding one for yourself, even if you have only one booster. But in the end, if we give you tons of Golden Boosters, then they are becoming worthless. They are losing their value in the sense that they are not so rare anymore. They overflood the market with unique cards and unique foilers. So what is the value of the other boosters? And we don't want to create this kind of imbalance. And also, what is the value of the retail product if the Kickstarter is so good that everybody has tons of unique cards for a cheap price compared to the retail product? And this balancing we need to have is very difficult and complex, and it needs, I mean, it requires from us that we think not only about our backers, but also about the retailers and the behavior of the market, how many cards of such type are there going to be available at the end, and how the value is going to exist in between the cards, because if you get everything for free, everything has then no value, and some people want to seek value into the game. So this kind of balance is very subtle. This is why we didn't want to modify what we had done, and as I said, we couldn't either from an industrial perspective. So no Golden Booster for everyone, I'm sorry. Is there a future date to the game to arrive to Mexico? What I know is that some Mexican retailers have ordered the game already. I cannot tell you who, but I've seen some Mexican retailers into our spreadsheets. And I know Asmodee North America is going to distribute the game in Mexico. So I don't know how many shops and so on, but if you have an LGS next to you, you can talk to him and tell him to discuss with Asmodee North America. They should be able to buy the game and to have it available in Spanish language, by the way, eventually, which I'm not so sure about what I just said, because Asmodee North America might have the English version, and maybe they will sell the English version to Mexico, and the Spanish will have the Spanish version, but well, you know, I don't know about that, but you can ask them and they will ask Asmodee and Asmodee will know. When and where there will be available the central adventure card for 2v2? Okay, I think we have answered this question into the article. In the beginning, we cannot get the adventure cards within the boosters or within the starter decks because this part of the game, the 2v2, came later than the rest of the design. And as I said before, we have to plan ahead a long time in advance. So there are some things we cannot modify anymore. But in the end, we know that for those of you that are interested in 2v2, it would be easy for you to at least print this from the print and play version. So in the beginning, it will be only available online on the website for free. You just pick it up and you print it with any printer. And later on, we might give you access to printed version in boosters, in starter decks, in print on demand. We don't know exactly, but we are going to improve the system so you can have quality cards for your 2v2 format. Why releasing the retail boxes in August only a month after delivery? So what I would like to know with your question is if you would like to see the retail products being sold at the same time that you are delivered the Kickstarter, or do you mean that you would like to see the retail products being delivered later? So I don't know exactly how, what question is yours, but the date that has been chosen for 26th of August 2024 has been chosen like a year and a half, something like this, very much in advance, because you have to. I mean, when you build a project such as ours, you need to retro-plan everything. So it's been decided so. It's been decided also because of the competition we have with the other IPs, with the big names that you know already. We wanted to avoid, arriving at the same time as others, in particular because when it comes to store owners and what they do with the brands they are solicited for. I mean, in the US you have LGSs with tons of tables and they can do many games at the same time. But in Europe, for example, usually you have less tables and they cannot run a draft magic tournament and a flesh and blood tournament and an altar tournament all together at the same time. So we chose the date because we believed it was a good date for the store owners to be able to do something nice with altar for their community and not being overwhelmed by others at the same time. And the date for the delivery of the Kickstarter in July is also something that's been decided aside, So we had to, this is a date that's been decided with Carta Mundi. So we had to think about the process, the logistics, the shipping, and so on to retro-plan. And we came up with July because we wanted to be able to have the game live at Gen Con. And Gen Con, I don't know if you're from America or not, but Gen Con is very important on the US market. This is the biggest B2C convention ever in the US and one of the biggest with Essen in Germany. And we wanted to go at Gen Con because this is the place to be when you want to release a new game and you are aiming from the American citizens, American customers. So we went at Gen Con last year. This is where we revealed Alter for the first time. We are going to be at Gen Con this year. And we want to hold some small tournaments and so on, where people could eventually benefit from having had the card before, having build some experience and come at Gen Con and experience a bit more competitiveness and draft modes and so on. This is probably the first time that you will be able to draft, for example, because it requires real boosters. So you will be able to draft some at Gen Con, for example. And for that, we needed to have the boosters and the products. And then the game is coming end of August because August is not a good month to release a game and closer to September is better. Hello, can the golden booster persist in the next sets? No. The golden, well, I say no, I say no today, and I have no intention of of pushing for the golden booster to be found again, but we might change our mind. It's just that this is part of the Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter in our mind is really a one-time thing, and once it's done and over, we want to 100% focus on the retailers and to help them provide you with the best ever experience. And these kind of things, the golden boosters, the way it is, it might cause troubles to the market because there are stories, for example, in Magic where people were trying to wait on the boosters to try to guess which one was a golden booster, and they would get rid of the other cards. They would just buy the right boosters, they would just select. This kind of idea is good until someone finds a way to trick it. So we have thought about it. We have made it so that every booster will have the same weight within the Kickstarter edition. But this kind of golden booster is maybe not healthy for the game. But I might be wrong. I mean, I'll be totally honest. I don't know exactly how to answer your question because instinctively I'm like, no, but maybe I'm wrong. So let's see, and let's discuss it on social. And I'd like to see some theories and to have retailers' perspectives. And eventually we might just release the game, see how it goes, and see if it's demanded by both retailers and customers. I hope I answered your question. Is the community enthusiasm around the game gras enough for you? Yeah, okay. I was the one using the term gras. This means fat in French. Can you just give me the question again? I was focused on the keyword. Is the community enthusiasm around the game enough for you? Yes, of course. I mean, even maybe sometime even too much. I mean, on the Discord server, for those of you that are on it, you can see that we try to be available as much as we can. Sometime very late, sometime on Sundays, sometime at 3 a.m., sometime at whenever, when we can. You are our life. We are spending a lot of it with you. InToX is spending a lot of it with you. This is fascinating because this is clearly crazy good when it's good, but this is also clearly exhausting when it's difficult. And this is something that, I mean, we wouldn't do this job if we wouldn't like what we do in the community we have. So, I mean, we are living the same thing as you. When you're happy, we are happy. When you're unhappy, we are unhappy. And this is very cool, but this isn't always easy, I have to say. When will prices for print on demand be released to the public? I wish I could tell you, but I don't know. Why do I don't know? It's simply because this is the kind of thing which requires some free time from Cartamundi, and Cartamundi is a company that's running so many businesses at the same time. So it's not really on our side. We are very much available to discuss the small details with them, but they only have sometimes here and there. Don't worry, it's all gonna be settled, but they know they have more time because it's not for now. So they are not like over pressured to deliver tomorrow all of the details. So we just take our time and they take their time. And it's going to come before the release of the game, before the print on demand is going live. We know the big lines, we know the headlines, we know what we are willing to do is going to happen, but the exact small specifics of it, I cannot tell you yet. I'm sorry. But as soon as we can, of course, we will tell you. How much boosters to print does the Kickstarter represent? I think at this point in time, it's around 2 millions. I'm not so sure, but I think it's around 2 millions. And that's a lot of boosters. Are you empty? No questions?
No, maybe not an issue.
Empty is not the right word, even so. What are your thoughts on how the KS product will compete with regular retailer product? My thoughts are that seeing how Altered is popular, I would say that a ton of players are going to discover Altered from the Kickstarter product. And that's very cool, that's very nice, very good product. But then more and more people will be somewhat sad of having missed the Kickstarter product. They will eventually try to buy the Kickstarter product, with reason why some retailers have bought Kickstarter products. But at some point, they should be no more on the market or so expensive that maybe it's not interesting for you because it becomes a collector product. And we expect the game to be popular enough to bring more audience than the one we just discovered thanks to the Kickstarter. We have many months to make Altered be discovered by many more than just you and us. And you also help us to do that, and Board Game Arena help us to do that. Why do I have a new question? Okay, this is the same. And the answer is the game first core set is going to last for 4.5 months about, which is already long. Any new player willing to have products will need to get the retailer products. And even if the retailer products will be less valuable than those that have been bought during the Kickstarter, it doesn't mean that we have no value, because in the end, this is a core set. So remember Magic the Gathering, you had Alpha and Beta, kind of the same editions, but one was the first one was the second one, and both were sold instantly. So this is the same story here. We believe the core set in retail and the core set in KS will both be successful because this is the first edition. And anyone who wants to play Altered and who likes the game and who wants to invest will be happy with both products anyway. Will you always keep to selling sealed products, or do you also consider selling some special cards arts? Oh, to customers. All right. Our business is to sell retailers and you because of the Kickstarter, but retailers sealed products. This is our main line. This is what we have designed the company for. And then there is print on demand and marketplace. But beyond that, I mean, adding some new products to the market, which would be products that would be in competition eventually with what is being sold by the retailers, no. What we might do, I don't know, maybe at some point we are going to make an RPG or an art book, you know, some side products which aren't designed to compete with the retail products. Why not? Or t-shirts, merchandising, whatever. But art, you mean playable art, playable cards? If we do something about art, if we do more art than we have done for the Kickstarter, they will be either part of the products you can buy in retail or part of the products you can earn from the organized play, for example. We are not going to sell them, we are going to give them away because we don't want to be the one selling here. We are providing the material, the game, the innovation, and the businessmen or the retailers are you and me, who with our own collections will eventually do business. But we as a company do not want to sell the products. That's why we have a distributor, Asmodee, and we are not a distribution company. Do we know the material used for the premium deck box? So yes, we know it. And I have answered this question already a few times, but it was a couple of weeks ago. And the technical term is, it's not laser. It's not real laser. It's, you know, this acronym that you have when you do chemical courses, you know, when you learn chemi. All right, anyway, this is something which isn't real animal laser. So if that's your concern and you're vegan or you're an animal lover, don't worry. This is more based on plastic and petrol. Unfortunately, also, it's not all natural, but nothing to do with animals. I think it's, oh, I remember, it's polypropylene. Yes, polypropylene. I leave it to you to Google, not my film. There are alt art for the adventure cards planned. Yes. We want to do that at some point. we don't do it now because it's too early, but yes, we will do it because we love it. We want to collect that as well. So yes, this is going to come at some point. Are there a lot of retail pledge? Just to know if the shops are enthusiasts. So this is not the information I'm supposedly able to give away, and it depends what you call a lot. But I can tell you, yes, there are what I would consider a lot. I don't know what you consider a lot, and you can discuss that by the average basket, financially speaking, or by the number of shops. What I can tell you is, I think the country with the most retailers interested in the KS product is the US, by far. So yes, many US retailers. Is there a Commander gameplay working in progress? Working in progress, no. I have to be honest, we are not working on developing a Commander mode. Eventually, Commander, in my opinion, is a mode that requires a lot of cards to exist. It's a game mode that thrives on years of expansions where you can pick up from anywhere to build up something. Could our game work with a Commander system? I mean, you could play with one hero and 99 cards at some point, and each of them would be a single card. So why not? But I guess this is a community that will probably build the system first when it feels that it's ready to go. But with one core set only, seems difficult. Ta-da! Will there be a temporary way to procure boosters in countries that you haven't targeted yet? So, yes, I can tell you that about the retailer pledges for the Kickstarter. We've had orders from China, Taiwan, Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, Vietnam, South America, Australia, New Zealand, and some Monaco, Chypre, Malta, Cyprus. Look, InToX is fighting with the TV so that it doesn't turn off. Yeah, give it to me, give it to me. Where is No, it's supposedly this one. Because if I don't have a TV, I cannot read your questions anymore, and the TV is willing to turn off. So we are somewhat stressed. Let's go. I don't know where to point it because it doesn't seem to be willing to react. But you see, even the on-off button doesn't react. I think okay.
I will ask the question and they will see the question anyway.
Okay, so I don't see the screen anymore and he will transmit the question to me. Okay, what's the next question?
Will you provide official rules for sealed as you did for the draft mode?
Will you provide official rules for the sealed mode as we did for the draft mode? Eventually, this is a question for the game designer. Unfortunately, I am not, and I haven't heard of such a topic at the moment, but this is maybe something we could work on. So I cannot tell you much more about it. All I can tell you it's not in the process at the moment speaking.
Why don't you make an in-house gaming platform rather than BGA and not optimized for mobile gaming?
Okay, so why don't we make a real video game instead of BGA? That is the question. Many ways to answer this question. First, it's because it's very time consuming. It requires a lot of money. It requires a lot of people. It's very expensive. It's very difficult when you haven't yet done your own game, because yes, today we have the game, it's done, we are ready to release it, but like 10 months ago it was still being created. So building up a video game aside of a game that is not finished is kind of a strange process. So rather just finishing up a game, then making a video game out of it. Otherwise it's just a video game from start. And also because we built this project to aim at people willing to play against someone or with someone around the table, socializing. This is our motto. We want to bring back people to the tables, to the bars, to the LGSs and have fun and play with friends. And video game is not that. But we are working with Asmodee, and Asmodee fortunately owns Board Game Arena, BGA. So we are French, Board Game Arena is French, they are based in Paris, we are based in Paris. Would have been kind of stupid of us not to discuss with them. And when we met with them, it became very easy for us to provide you with the experience you can have now on Board Game Arena. It took us less than a year, which is already long, to code all of it, but it was doable in such a short time and with a low budget because Board Game Arena is already existing. And this is something we could do on the side, which didn't require us to hire tons of people and 3D artists and so on. So we could do it. Why did we do it when I said we wanted to bring people back to the table? We did it because we believe Board Game Arena is one of those ways of offering you to play Altered in a way that's not gonna please everyone, but that's going to make it accessible to everyone. Board Game Arena is somewhat free, if not really free. You can play Altered without paying anything, and we believe it's cool. And we don't need to make money out of Board Game Arena because Board Game Arena is not a $10 million budget. So it's just this small extra thing we had the opportunity to do, and we believe we had to do because we could do it. I mean, would Board Game Arena not be part of Asmodee, we would probably not have done it in the end. And about the video games, the second part of my answer is because if we do a video game, like a AAA video game, incredible video games that's, having everybody play on and so on, what remains of the premise of bringing you to play to the table with your friends and so on with real cards if everybody plays online? And what is the message we send to the retailers, to the community? It's a different message, and we didn't want to do that. So I'm not saying we are not going to make a video game one day, like a real video game, but if it happens, it will be probably in a couple of years, after years of success, years of commitment with you, and still and always keeping in mind that our motto is to keep and protect what we believe is what we wanted Altered to be, which is a game that is made to gather you around the table and to meet new people, to meet new friends. This is why we are going to put all of the organized play money and prizes toward ZLGSs, toward real-time play. And eventually at some point, if there is a new COVID crisis or we need to have some online play for some people who have no possibilities to go into stores or whatever, we might do it from time to time, but with very low support when it comes to prizes. But we believe the online Altered experience is meant for you to be this side thing, that might be useful for you in some cases, but that is not taking away from you the desire to go and play in real life. And this is what we want, and we hope you will enjoy. He wanted me to read the TVs off.
How long can we expect a card we order print and arrive to the US?
How long can we expect a card we order to be printed and delivered in the US? I have no exact expectations on this, but I would say we should aim at something around 1 to 2 weeks, depending on when the printing is done, because eventually the cards won't be printed every day. they might be packed, bundled into one big pack of print orders. And at some point, I don't know, every Tuesday, Cartamundi prints the card and ships them. So maybe I'd say 1 to 2 weeks. That would be a nice timing, I believe.
How much does it has costed to InToX to produce Alter, and how much does the Kickstarter contribute to that?
I cannot tell you this number because I'm not allowed to tell it to you. What I can tell you is the Kickstarter is far from being enough for us to pay for all of the costs we have invested into the project, because building up a TCG like ours is very costly. We are 30 people working here, permanent contract at the moment. The game is not yet released. This is the first time ever we are going to make some money. This is a Kickstarter. And when you see 5 million on Kickstarter, it does not mean 5 million in our pocket. We have to produce the card, to ship the cards. We have to pay for a Kickstarter, which takes, I believe, 8% of the total. We have to pay for the fulfillment, the logistics, the people that will deliver the products to you, and so on, and so on, and so on. So a lot of costs in between. Of course, some money is made, like I don't know how much, but a lot of money still. But that's only a fragment of what we need to make this project very profitable. And anyway, like in any company, you don't make usually a project profitable just when you release it. Unless you're like, I don't know, Fortnite for Epic Game, because it was crazy. But still, we expect to need like a couple years to reach this level of revenues where we have reimbursed the initial investment, and then that will be a different story. But for the moment, that's not yet the case.
Do you plan to get other famous board game artists to do some cards?
Why not? I mean, at the moment we have no such plan, because this is an idea we brought up for the Kickstarter, in particular because we all wanted to have one art from Dixit within the Kickstarter. So this idea came from here, and Marie Cardouar said yes, and that's crazy nice. I love this art, and I'm hoping to open it in my boosters. In the future, why not? I mean, everything's possible. That's more a question for our artistic director, Max, and I'm pretty sure he's willing to do that at some point as well. So, yes.
This question is, can we expect an official showcase of Altered app at Gen Con?
So, can you expect a demonstration of the Altered app at Gen Con? So at Gen Con, the Altered app will have been already released. The Altered app is supposed to be released for the delivery of the Kickstarter, so it should be in July. But just to say, the Altered app is nothing more than the experience you already have online with the site altered.gg. When you experience it from your telephone, you will see the same experience from the app. It's just that the app is something you can download from Google Store, and you can have an icon on because in fact it's an app with a web browser in it. So which means that you will have the same experience. The only thing that the app is adding to the browser experience on your phone is that the app will allow us to give you access to some specific programs which are built in, like the mass scan experience, the mass scan service. The service that allows you to scan all of your cards in one shot is only available from the app and not from the web browser. So you will need the app to use this service.
Has any agreements you made with grading companies such as PSA, DGS, and others?
Do we have agreement with grading companies like PSA and others? The answer is no. We have been in touch with many of them. They came to us, and I have to say we've been quite surprised that they did, because in a sense our project is maybe not made for them, because we put more emphasis on the digital ownership than on the real account ownership, but still they are interested, willing to offer us to think about partnerships and so on. But at the moment they are not our primary source of discussion. Let's say we lack time for this kind of discussions, which are, we believe at the moment, side topics for us. Still, if we meet them on some conventions and so on, be willing to grab a beer and have a chat to see how they would see the future. I'm very curious because, as I said, this is something which is kind of unexpected, and I'm feeling like this is maybe something we haven't fully thought, or maybe they have different visions than us. And this is the kind of thing that is cool with Altered, is we haven't yet fully discovered what this game will be in 6 months and a year. I mean, we are all going to discover it together, and maybe some people will have some behaviors we haven't yet thought of. And I mean, very curious and very exciting.
What is your favorite card?
My favorite card is Sakara Brew, which is an Izmir card, which is available in the demo decks, and which is a card that makes your opponent goes backward when you play it. And since I'm a control player, I love it when my opponent goes backward.
What happens if there is a delay to the Kickstarter? Will retail also be delayed?
Can you repeat the second part of the phrase?
Will retail be also delayed?
Will retail, okay. What happens if we are late on the Kickstarter delivery, and will it impact the retail delivery? I suppose that if the Kickstarter is late on delivery, it might have an impact on the retail because this is the same factory, and there is no reason that one issue with one doesn't impact the other. So as long as this scenario doesn't happen, I cannot really answer you because it depends on what really is the issue and how long it takes to fix. So yes, we will have to do something in case it happens. What? I don't know yet. Hopefully it doesn't happen.
What are the security measures in place so that our cards will not be stolen like any other digital assets?
What are the security in case your cards are stolen like any other digital assets? Well, my usual answer to this one is we are as secured and as fragile as any other company. Unfortunately, no one is 100% protected from any digital attacks. This is impossible in this world. What we can do is we can think about what we do in case something happens. This is where you have, you follow some principles that have been experienced and validated by others, like replication of your database, like constant savings and backups. Creating backups all the time, and you have to be able to, shut down your system, reset it, come back 2 hours back, or whatever you need to do, depending on what happens. But beyond that, we have the same type of system as any other AAA video game, which means secured servers by big companies of the tech. I mean, if a game like World of Warcraft can be hacked, then we can be hacked. Fortunately, they are not hacked every day, and fortunately, we won't be hacked every day. But anyway, we will have plans to react depending on the cases. And in this kind of situations, you don't have only one plan. You have like 60 plans because you need to adapt on the threat all the time.
InToX and InToX box topper when?
InToX and InToX box topper when? This is not the same type of game we are talking about here. This is. But by the way, I will say a word about this. This. We made the game, so we are like sometimes talking about, hey, if I would have a card with my name, what would it be into the game, and so on. We are dreaming of that. And in the end, we didn't do it. By the way, he already has a Loki card, which he tries to pressure the design teams and so on to inspire them about his own life. But well, whatever. Basically, if we start doing it, like for example, there would be a card named InToX in the game, then why wouldn't there be a card named InToX or Regis or Max or whoever else works in the company. And when you start doing that, everybody wants its own card, and it's starting to be a mess. And I mean, if you want to be fair with everyone, then no one has a card. But maybe one day, I don't know. Not yet planned.
That's the end.
Woo! Thank you, everyone. I don't know what time it is. 6, I believe. 7?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we started at 6. Tomorrow is the last day. We are at 7. We are 24 hours from the end of the campaign. We hope you will be with us on social, on Discord, on Twitter, on Instagram to celebrate with us tomorrow. Just let us a word, comment something on the Kickstarter page, let us a private message, whatever comes to your mind. If you have more questions, we are still there for you. This is not the last AMA ever. I am myself flying to the US on Saturday for the Gamma convention, which is the biggest B2B business-to-business convention in the US, and that will be next week. So we will meet with the US retailers, and that will be really nice. And hopefully, see you anyway in the coming weeks. And remember, do not wait to answer the email we will send to you. And if you don't see the email, tell us you didn't see it. Check your spam. And remember, tomorrow is the last time at 7 p.m. There is no pledge manager. So if you fail ordering tomorrow at 7 and 1 minute, it won't be possible anymore. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.